Good evening, everybody. It's Bobby Harvey once again, live on the station platform in downtown Ottumwa, Iowa, where we are waiting for Amtrak's Westbound California Zephyr to make its arrival and departure into town this evening. It's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these streams, and this is, as far as I know, the first time since I started doing these this year of the Amtrak stops specifically that I've done one on a Friday evening. And that's mainly because I've got some stuff going on tomorrow night, and I prefer doing them on Saturday nights. And Sunday nights, I've done them on Sunday as well, but I just found out that Saturday is a better day to do them. But we got stuff going on tomorrow, so decided to go ahead and do one tonight to kind of get a head start to the weekend. So we are here at the station in Ottumwa, waiting for the Zephyr. And as you can see, fall has arrived, and with fall comes an earlier and earlier sunset. Now, this is also because the train is running a little over 30 minutes late. Or at least it was previous stops of Mount Pleasant and Burlington. And it was about, I have to say, maybe 25 minutes late out of Galesburg. So in addition to the days getting shorter, we have less daylight. The train is later, so it's that much more darkness. If the train was running on time, there would have been just a little more light. But as you can see, if I pan to the west right now, we're looking east. I'll go ahead and pan the camera west. As you can see, there's still just a little bit of light in the sky to our west. Now, right before I started the stream, once I got down here, I was going over the bridge to get down here to the station, and the signal was green for an eastbound train, and as I came down here to set up, the train went through. I did get some video with my iPhone before I started the stream. It was a very interesting train. I don't know if it was the Lynn-Gale manifest, but it was different. It was mostly loaded centerbeam cars. I mean, most of the train was loaded centerbeam cars. And there were a few tank cars and box cars and hopper cars in the train, but it was mostly lumber on the centerbeam flat cars. I haven't seen a train like that in a while, and I wonder if that's a different train, because I've seen trains like that before. Maybe they just have different loads on different days. And another thing that I noticed about that train, which I've also seen this before, that there was an engine on the front and the back, which you don't see that very much on the Lynn-Gale train. You usually see a few engines on the front and maybe on the back if it's a long train, but it really didn't seem like a very long train either. So it might be a different train, but that's the train that went through before I started the stream, probably about a little under 10 minutes ago. So if you can look down here to our west even further, we can see the signal aspects for Amtrak, I am assuming. They have an advance approach. We were talking about that signal aspect, I'm pretty sure, on the last stream. Can't really see the lower signal down there from this particular vantage point, but it is green. And the upper signal is yellow. So yellow over green. That's an advance approach to the next set of signals, which is at the crossover at milepost 283, just west of town. So it looks like Amtrak is going to be switching tracks, just like last time, coming in on Main 1 and crossing over to Main 2. Now, I noticed I was watching the rail cam in Mount Pleasant. Amtrak was running on Main 2 going west, so I'm guessing they're going to cross back over to Main 1, probably around Fairfield, because with that eastbound freight train going through, there's no way they can cross over in front of it because it's already on Main 2. So they probably crossed over at 2502, which is around Fairfield. A little east of Fairfield, I'm pretty sure. Okay, A train confirms that number 5 is just past agency. Number 5 is the Westbound California Zephyr, the train we are waiting for. Now, I also heard on the radio, once that mixed freight cleared going east, they were talking to a train and agency that was done with their work. So I'm guessing that that was the eastbound local train 664 that maybe had some work in agency that was ahead of that freight train that I saw before I started the program here. So there's 2 eastbound movements. So that's almost a definite thing that Amtrak crossed over to Main 1 over around Fairfield. So because of the way the signals are lined up, I don't know if there's going to be any other trains tonight besides Amtrak, what we're going to see on the stream, but we'll see. We're only 6 minutes in. It's just a little after 7 o'clock, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, little lighter traffic watching the stream tonight, probably because it's a Friday, and a lot of you probably aren't used to seeing me do Friday streams, so we'll see as Amtrak gets closer. Some more of you might jump in. James and A train are here. And normally I do streams on Saturday. I prefer to do them on Saturday, but I've had some other things going on, so I wanted to get a stream in this week because I didn't get one in last week, even though I said in the previous stream 2 weeks ago that I was probably going to do one, and I kind of forgot about a few things that was going on Saturday, so that's why I did not do a stream last week. There's a lot of stuff going on Saturday. One of those being we had a wedding to go to in the afternoon. My wife's second cousin was getting married. And it was an afternoon wedding, so there was no way that we were going to go to the wedding and the reception and be back from there in enough time for me to do a live stream last week. So that's why I did not do one last week. And I could do one on Sundays, but it just seems better, for me anyways, to do one on Saturday, because then when I'm done with the stream, still have half the weekend. But tonight, after this stream, I have the whole weekend ahead of me. So the signals to the east, which you can kind of see them on the other side of the Amtrak crew down there. So the conductor and engineers are waiting to get on the train. Can't really see it right now, but the eastbound signal for Main 2 is red. The westbound signals, Main 2 is red, Main 1 is advance approach, yellow over green for Amtrak, which should be approaching shortly. If they're through agency a few minutes ago, it's not going to be long. Now we are several weeks into fall now, and we've just now started to get some fall-like weather. Tonight it is lower 70s, kind of cool. Definitely need a light jacket right now. And the past couple of mornings, the lows have been in the mid-40s, so it's been pretty chilly in the mornings, and it warms up in the afternoon, but it's not very hot. It's perfect fall weather. And of course, since we've passed the autumnal equinox, the daylight is decreasing rapidly. We lose about a minute a day as we approach the winter solstice, which will be in a couple of months. The equinox, of course, you have equal amounts of daylight and nighttime, and now we have more nighttime than daylight. Pretty soon, even if Amtrak's on time, these arrivals will be completely after dark. But as you can see, these nice new renovated station platforms have really nice bright LED lights, so you can get very good pictures at night, which is great for photography. Anytime you want to come down here and take pictures of trains at night, you can do it, and you can get some pretty good stuff because it is well lit and it looks great. And eventually the platform over there, the old platform, the unrestored one, will be removed. All right, folks, with that, we have Amtrak's California Zephyr rolling in to the station here in Ottumwa. And it has arrived, California Zephyr. And we've got some extra color on the train tonight. The second unit is locomotive 204, which has been recently repainted into Amtrak's latest Phase 7 paint scheme. This is one of the latest repaints. The paint still looks very crisp, fresh, looks great. The lead locomotive is number 15, Phase 5. The engineers are changing out up there. Relief engineer climbing on. And you can see that signal down there. That's an advance approach. Yellow over green. Amtrak will be crossing tracks west of town. Not very many people out on the platform tonight. Of course, maybe it's just a difference of people traveling during the week as opposed to the weekend. You never know. Now, I am a big fan of the Phase 7 paint scheme. Really great. Nice bright colors. And a lot of color. Quite a contrast from Phase 5, which is not a bad paint scheme when it's brand new, when it's freshly repainted, but definitely been around for quite a while now. So Phase 7 is a nice change. Well, that was the warning whistle. Be leaving in a couple of minutes. Everybody that got off on the platform, signal to get back on. The train's about ready to go. And away they go. Engine 15 on the front, 204 trailing in the Phase 7 paint scheme. Viewliner 2 baggage. Transition sleeper. And the normal sleepers. We've got a Superliner 2 sleeper there. Superliner 1. The engineer is applying the brakes for the running brake test. Superliner 2 dining car. Superliner 2 lounge car. And the coaches. There should be 2. Superliner 1, coach baggage, and a normal coach. The end of the train. And there you have it, folks. They're getting
29-41, Alpha to 3569 on main 1, followed by 729-42, 3569 to 3018 on main 2. Is that correct?
And so it sounds like they're going to play kind of hopscotch once they get west of Albia. The engineer and conductor are reading back some of their new track warrants that they're going to be getting. Halpin to, what was it, 350 something on main 1, and then from that point on main 2. So they're going to cross over to main 2 between here and Albia, clearly, because they got that advance approach. And then at Halpin, they're going to switch back over to main 1 and then back to main 2. Probably overtaking some freight trains, getting around them so they can stay on schedule. They don't have to pass behind or run behind freight trains. So they can go at a steady speed and hopefully make up some of the time that they've lost. Well, they haven't lost a whole lot of time. It's 7:30, so they're only about 30 minutes late. So it's not bad. But definitely if the dispatcher keeps them going along, and they just knock down the signal down there, it all turns red. If the dispatcher can keep Amtrak kind of hopscotching around freights and going, they could make up a lot of time. Wow, Mark. Mark's here. Welcome and thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. That is very nice of you. So with Amtrak, just leaving the station, we're about 23 minutes into the stream. We'll go a little longer, like I always do, just to make sure that we haven't, that we won't miss any other approaching trains. However, as you just saw down there, the signals down at the ICNE RRX junction with CPKC just turned off. So there won't be any more westbounds for a little bit. Eastbound, the signal going east is also dark. So we may or may not see anything else tonight, but you never know. There have been plenty of times that I've seen those signals go out and then come right back on when more trains are approaching. So you never know. We'll keep things going for, I don't know, another 20 minutes or so. Maybe another train will go by then, maybe not, but we'll see. So this is pretty much the scene, how the scene is going to look in future weeks and months as we get deep into fall and approach winter. It's going to be dark down here every time I do a live stream, but that's different, and it's kind of neat because not very many, you don't see near as much video or programs, especially featuring trains, at night. It's just more difficult to get good pictures at night. But obviously down here, you can get fantastic pictures at night because of the lit platform. And the platform is, from what I know, from what I'm guessing, it's lit all night. So you could, I'm sure that's for, security reasons. So you could be down here all night and get some really good pictures of trains. Yeah, I don't know if you guys just heard that, but engineer is announcing that they have a diverging clear signal aspect at the control point at milepost 283. So they are well on their way west. Now, I can only imagine how it's going to be a couple months from now when it's very cold out here. And that's going to be another interesting aspect to these live streams. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some snow. And that's kind of interesting that we've been doing these live streams since March. And this is actually the 21st Amtrak station stop live stream that I've done this year. And the weather has been fairly consistent for the most part. I mean, there have been a couple of cloudy days, but we haven't seen any like rain or any, different weather. I kind of hope we see that in wintertime. It'd be neat to be down here during a snowstorm, for example. Like around Christmas time, we get some snow. I hope that happens. As Mark just mentioned, you have to bundle up for those, and he's right, because it can get very, very cold in Iowa during the winter, especially at night. Obviously, it'll be the coldest after dark, and if it's a clear night, it can be very cold down here. But considering that I only do these streams for, about an hour or so, I mean, I think I can handle that. There have been plenty of times that I've been out watching trains with my normal video camera, and I'd be out waiting for trains, freezing for, 30, 45 minutes, sometime probably pushing an hour. And if I ended up getting the train that I wanted to get, it's always worth it, because there again, I mean, wintertime, it's harder to get pictures, but honestly, I mean, I think I've gotten some of my greatest pictures and video of trains in winter. And strangely, I seem to get more pictures in wintertime than really any other season. I mean, you'd think that I'd get more pictures in summer when the weather's nice and when it's easier to get around, but no. I look back at all the catalogs of video that I've taken over the years, and I usually catalog all the trains that I see in Ottumwa specifically, and you can see patterns that I take way more video in wintertime, fall and winter, and early spring than summer. And I think that's also because there's just more going on in summertime, so I'm doing other things. In winter, there's not much else going on, and so what do? We'll go out and see trains, because there's not much else going on. Now, it sounds like I'm going to need to replace the batteries in my scanner. I'll do that really quick. So, the signal for eastbound movements has lit up again. Let me go ahead and change the batteries in my scanner real quick. I always bring replacements with me, because you never know when they're going to run out. Anyways, the eastbound signals have lit up again, red, for main 2. I don't know what main 1 looks like. I'll look at it here in a second. It's a very nice night. I'd say it's probably the upper 60s right now. No wind, and it's just very calm. I can only hope that some of our winter nights will be the same, because a calm winter's night isn't that bad. You just have to bundle up, and it's not a big deal. Even 0 degrees when the wind isn't blowing is bearable if you bundle up. But if the wind's blowing, whew, it's bad. But that's just part of living where we do, and it's part of rail fanning. I've found that if you go out and brave the elements and get some good pictures, that's some of the pictures and footage that you'll remember, and some of the most valuable footage that you get in bad weather, because not a lot of people do it. And it's neat to get pictures of trains in different environments. And it's good experience for taking pictures, because you're not always going to have the most ideal situation. You're not always going to have sunlight. You're not always going to have sunlight on the right side of the train, for example. It might be a shadow. I mean, you learn to use what you've got and still get good pictures out of whatever shadows, clouds, weather elements. You learn to, okay. Well, we have sirens going somewhere. Sounded like a fire truck. Now, the fire station is pretty much right up there. And it sounds like the fire truck is going north. Wow, that escalated quickly. Well, hopefully everybody's okay. Now, that's something else that I actually can get on my scanner, is the fire frequencies. So anytime that the, well, I don't know if they call it a dispatcher, but anytime that the fire stations get a call, then you can actually hear that on the scanner, and then you can hear the fire departments respond and head out. It's kind of interesting. Of course, there's not a whole lot of activity on that here in Ottumwa, but if you're in a big city, you'd be able to hear a lot of action on the rescue frequencies. I do know that the police frequencies in Ottumwa, and they probably are this way most places now, are encrypted. So even though I think the frequencies are out there, you can't hear anything because it's all digitally encrypted. So only police radios can actually pick up what they're saying. But the fire and ambulance you can hear. I obviously don't remember the frequencies off the top of my head, but they're available out there, and you can get them on my scanner. I actually get a lot of different things on the scanner besides railroads. Well, it sounds like the sirens are coming towards us now. Maybe that's an ambulance. Well, yeah. Oh, fire truck. That's coming from the South Fire Station. Wow. Must be significant if they're sending the a truck from the South Fire Department and North. Oh dear. Well, hopefully the firemen can get there and take care of whatever's going on. Of course, I don't know. I wonder if, well, yeah, that definitely sounded like a fire truck that left from the North Fire Station. So 2 trucks. Yeah. Now, if I hear about anything, I'll let you guys know in the next live stream if I remember. You know, there again, if I had that frequency programmed into my scanner, it would know exactly what was going on. But yeah, the scanner picks up a lot of things. I mean, obviously it doesn't pick up, you know, radio station, like music radio stations, but it picks up a lot of different things. NOAA weather radio, obviously the trains, emergency, marine, air. Pretty sure it can pick up air traffic control frequencies. So whatever your niche is, I mean, you can, whatever, you know, transportation or emergency, rescue, whatever you like listening to, you can pick up on one of these little scanners. And I've shown you my scanner before, but turn it down here for a second. But this is a Uniden Bearcat. You can see it there. It's a BC75XLT. The antenna is, I bought the antenna separately for it, but Scanner itself, I'm pretty sure I got it off Amazon. Just a very common, basic scanner, but it does the job, and it's really nice. Now, obviously, I use mine for trains, but like I said, you can use it for a lot of other things too. I know there are a lot of plane enthusiasts that, you know, it sounds, I mean, to the outside observer, it sounds kind of weird, but being a train enthusiast, I understand. There are plane enthusiasts that sit outside of airports and take pictures of the planes arriving and departing. And just like rail fans, I mean, they could tell you exactly what jets are landing and where they're going, and I'm sure that they have scanners to listen to the air traffic controller talking to the pilots on all those different planes. It's interesting that there are all these different hobbies out there, and a lot of them are related to transportation. I haven't been to enough major airports to even think about taking pictures of planes, but it would be fun to do. And actually, the only time I really partially did that was when I was in San Diego over 10 years ago, when I went out to Los Angeles to get some footage for my Southwest Chief video, which you guys can watch on my channel. I've had it done for almost 10 years now, believe it or not. But I went out to LA to ride the Chief out there, and on the one full day I had in California, in between going out there and coming back, I took the Pacific Surfliner down to San Diego. I don't know what that was. And I also, while I was in San Diego, I had probably, I like to say maybe 3 or 4 hours in San Diego. And so what do you do in San Diego when you just have a few hours? Well, I rode the San Diego trolley around, did kind of a loop around downtown, and went on up to a stop north of the Santa Fe Depot, which is the main terminal in San Diego the Surfliner goes into. I took the San Diego trolley up to Middletown Station, I think is what it was called, and it is very close to the San Diego airport. And so I got some pretty good pictures of some of the planes coming in and landing while I was waiting to get pictures of trains go by. And that's kind of neat if you're ever in a spot where you can do that, where you can actually get pictures of 2 different modes of transportation in the same place. Now, another thing people like to do is take pictures of boats and ships. And Fort Madison, Iowa is a great place to go, or anywhere along the Mississippi River where there's trains, because you can get pictures of trains and boats, barges on the Mississippi River. And it's really good filler while you're waiting for trains to see a big barge go down the river or something like that. Another great place to go to get pictures of trains and boats is Hannibal, Missouri, where you have 2 rail lines. You have Norfolk Southern and BNSF, and of course the Mississippi River with the barges. There's a lifting bridge, and there's also the Mark Twain riverboat and other small boats that you could see along there. Anywhere along the Mississippi where there are trains, it's a great place because you get to see all the activity on the boats as well, on the river. Now, another place that I've gone is Keokuk. A few years ago, which, believe it or not, it's over 6 years ago now, and I haven't done anything with this footage yet, but I will eventually. I was actually part of the chase of the Keokuk Junction's F units, the final run of the Keokuk Junction F unit locomotives going west on the Keokuk Junction Railroad. And I took video pretty much basically from the west end of Peoria all the way to La Harpe, where the F units got pulled off the train, and then I chased another Keokuk Junction train to Keokuk from there. And it ended at Keokuk, and right along the Mississippi River at the lock and dam. And I actually got to see a barge go through the lock, which is a very interesting process. You're literally right there at the lock and get to see the whole process. I like to say that it took over a half hour for the barge to go through, because of course the water level has to rise, or lower, depending on which way you're going. And that's how, it's basically when they've put dams up all along the rivers, and the only way to get a boat over a dam is to have a lock, where the boat comes in, and the doors close, and then the water level raises or lowers to allow the boat to continue on. Now, obviously, there are plenty of dams along the Mississippi River for hydroelectric, for power, to generate electricity for places along the river, and other purposes. I don't know if the river water is purified for drinking. I suppose, you would use a dam for those purposes too, to kind of dam up the water so there's more water pressure or something like that. I don't know. I'm not an expert on any of that stuff, but it's interesting. Here in Ottumwa, obviously the Des Moines River is not navigable. There's plenty of dams on the river, but there are no locks. So there's no open river channels you can take boats through. The only boats you can have on it are, small boats, speed boats and little, like, personal boats, but you can't, obviously, a boat can't start in Des Moines, for example, and go all the way to Keokuk on the Des Moines River. You can't, because there are too many locks and dams. Or there are no locks. So you can't get through. The only navigable rivers around here is the Mississippi, and further south and west of us you have the Missouri River, which is also a navigable river, which is, you don't see too much barge traffic on it, but sometimes. One of my contacts in the Omaha Council Bluffs area had a picture of a small barge on the Missouri River going through in the border between Council Bluffs and Omaha. Now, further east, you have the Illinois River, which I'm pretty sure is also a navigable river. And there's another river near Chicago. I think it's a tributary of the Illinois River, maybe. I don't remember what it's called, the DuPage River, or something like that. That's also navigable for barges and boats. And believe it or not, even the Chicago River, which goes through downtown Chicago, is a river that you could theoretically take ships through. There's all these drawbridges. You can take sailboats, and I remember seeing pictures of barges and huge ships going through downtown Chicago on the river, because they have all those drawbridges that can raise up and allow big boats to go through. The drawbridges don't really go up very much in Chicago. The last time I was there, I actually got to see them go up. I think they raise and lower them a couple of times a day, just for testing purposes, and to let boats through. Besides that, they're closed, but it's pretty interesting. But no, most of the boat traffic they see around here is on the Mississippi. And you see quite a bit. It's probably one of America's busiest rivers, if not the busiest, for boat traffic. Yeah, Mark comments, the Cal-Sag Canal. I don't remember seeing the name of that one, but Southwest Suburban Chicago. Yep. A-Train also commented, well, as I was talking about the rivers, he commented there's a westbound at Agency now. That's at 754. We got signals that are all red behind us, though, so I don't know. I suppose those might go up here soon. We'll see. And A-Train also said there was an attempt to make the Des Moines River navigable like the Mississippi, but it didn't get built up before the railroads made it here. And that's the thing. Before railroads, the most efficient way to transport cargo was boats, steamboats, and barges. And obviously, when the railroads were built, and obviously you can haul much more cargo pretty much anywhere, much faster. You don't need a river. So once the railroads were built, that pretty much was the end of a lot of river projects, and a lot of rivers that were navigable ceased to be so. There were actually several canals, and one of them that I remember seeing in Illinois, the Hennepin Canal, which is actually a state park now, I'm pretty sure. It was a canal for boats, similar to the Erie Canal, the much smaller scale, not quite as big. I don't know what's going on the radio right now. But anyways, the Hennepin Canal was an old canal for boats that is no longer used, but you can still see all the old locks along it. And if you're ever down along the Iowa Interstate Railroad, down along Wyanett and Bureau, down in that area, east of Geneseo, the tracks will follow the Hennepin Canal for a little ways. All right, so let's look at these signals. They are all red to the west, and there is... Now, let me look at the eastbound facing signals really quick here. So there's our answer as to why the signals are red. Sounds like there's a CPKC train going across first. So A-Train said there's a westbound at Agency. The reason that they're not letting it through yet is because it sounds like a CPKC train's coming through first, which we will not be able to see, but we're going to go ahead and pan the camera that way anyways. Maybe we'll get to see the signal go up when the train clears. Then after this next train, we will probably wrap things up for the night. It's 8 o'clock now, so that train cleared Agency a while ago. Probably will not take very long to get here once this train clears. But you can see the signals down there to our west are all red, and that's because I'm pretty sure there is a CPKC train about ready to cross. Now, speaking of CPKC, the holiday train schedule for 2025 was recently released, and Ottumwa is once again one of the stops of the U.S. CPKC holiday train, the U.S. train that runs mostly in the United States, a few spots in Canada, but mainly the U.S. They have a separate train that runs exclusively in Canada with a few U.S. stops. And then they also, obviously, run the Kansas City Southern. Yep. It's a CPKC train about ready to cross down there. Might be able to see the headlight. I think it's a southbound, maybe. We'll see here. Ah, it's a northbound. Unless they already went through. Yeah, the way the tracks are angled down there, it's hard to see the headlights of a train when it goes by. A train says southbound on the Caldwell Street cam, so it must have already be going through the plant. There it is. There it goes right there. You can see it. A train says it is an oil train. Might be able to hear the train clickety-clacking over the diamond down there.
Once they get through, signal location over.
Yeah, it sounds like that westbound train just called the dispatcher.
730-44 display for release. Over.
What that is.
Understand Mrs. 6189 West, reporting clear on track mark 730-44 between TDC Lucas Street and TDC CP 2502 at 2005-2005. Is that correct, over?
Okay. They're just giving up a warrant from their...
Roger, correct. Thank you. DS44 up.
Just giving up a warrant that they had.
Yeah, I'll let you know when you come down and have a look over.
Yeah, so they must be stopped at Iowa Avenue.
DS44 up.
So once this train clears, that westbound will go through, and that'll probably be the end of our program for tonight. So anyways, the CPKC holiday train this new schedule is out for the 2025 operating season, and Ottumwa is going to be a stop on the U.S. train that goes down to Kansas City, and I think they might even take it further south now too. November 23rd or 26th, which I'm pretty sure is the day before Thanksgiving, will be the day of the performance in Ottumwa, which is at 10 o'clock in the morning. If it's like previous years, I didn't look at any of the other locations yet, but they'll probably bring, if it's like any of the previous years, which, believe it or not, this is, I'm trying to think here. This is the, let's see. This will be the 5th year. Is that right? I think this is the 5th year that the holiday train has been through Ottumwa. It was a big deal when it came through the first time. That was, I think, 2018 or 19. I think it was 2018. And obviously they didn't do it in 2019 for some reason. And obviously they didn't do it at all in 2020. And I think they've been down every year since then. So maybe this is the 6th year. I'll have to look back at my video. But if it's like any previous years, they bring the train into Ottumwa the night before, and then it overnights in the yard before it goes out for its performance that morning in Ottumwa, and then heads south. So if that's the case, and usually it's late at night. The first time it came through, it was shortly after midnight when the train would come through. But of course, being the holiday train with all the Christmas lights, it's perfect. The train goes through at that time, so you can see all of the great lights on the train. I've gotten the train coming in the night before every year, except one year I got it coming through Washington after dark at track speed, which is pretty cool. I haven't been to the actual performance yet. I've always had other things going on, or it's been too cold or something, but I've seen the train every year. Obviously, the performance is what most people go to because they have music performers. I think Smash Mouth is going to be on the train this year, which that'll be pretty cool. Last year, KT Tunstall was on the train. Don't know if they sing any of their non-holiday songs, if they just sing Christmas songs, but there's a concert and Santa Claus is there, and it's a big deal. It's pretty neat, but I haven't been to the actual event yet. That may change this year. I have I'll keep you posted. But at any rate, I will probably most definitely see the train come into town the night before. And I'm actually contemplating, maybe since I've gotten so many pictures with my video camera of the train, I might do a live stream of the holiday train coming in this year. We'll see. Have to stay tuned for that. I might just get out my video camera to get a really good picture of it. But there's only so many vantage points you can get the train at night. I've kind of already gotten several of them over the years, so I might actually do a live stream of the train this year. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel once that comes around. Now, last year, it was almost the same time, one day later. Last year, the train came in the night before Thanksgiving, and the event was on Thanksgiving Day. But I didn't go to the event that year either because it was, again, too cold. And I don't really want to take the kids out when it's really, really cold out because they're still very young. But we'll have to see. I mean, there have been plenty of years when it's been, this type of weather. This, 60s, sometimes warmer around Thanksgiving. And other times when there's been snow on Thanksgiving. So, who knows? But the CPKC holiday train will be returning to Ottumwa on November 26th. And I'm guessing Muscatine the day before. But the whole schedule is out on CPKC's website, so look it out. Look it up. And as I was saying before the train went through down there, CPKC also operates the Kansas City Southern Holiday Express down on the old Kansas City Southern lines down around Texas and Arkansas and Louisiana, Alabama, all through there. Which that train is different. I mean, it's a much different looking train. The front of the train is kind of made up to look like an old steam engine, but it's actually a flat car made up to look like a steam engine, and the train is pushed by a diesel on the end. There's a lot of holiday lights and stuff, but it's a very different looking train. It'd be neat to see, but it's never made it up this far. And A-Train just comments said that he hopes they keep running the Kansas City Southern trains, and I bet they will. I bet they're glad to have several different train sets. They have 2 holiday trains that they run in Canada and the U.S., and that's probably a relief for a lot of the crews organizing these trains. You don't have to go all over the continent, basically, on one train. You can just focus on one country, one region, one part of the line. So I bet they'll still keep running them. I do wonder over the years, though, if they will eventually be morphed into more of a CPKC livery. Right now, I'm pretty sure the holiday train is still Canadian Pacific looking. Be interesting to see if they, eventually repaint the train to reflect more of the CPKC era. We'll see. Obviously, my guess is some of the more historical pieces of equipment will still be in their original Canadian Pacific or Kansas City Southern liveries. As far as I know, CPKC still has the Kansas City Southern executive train and locomotives. A lot of the cars on the Kansas City Southern trains were repainted into the CP maroon. And some of those trains were on the Final Spike Special last year. But they were still lettered for Kansas City Southern. And I bet they won't repaint the CPF units. Obviously, 2816 is going to stay the way it is, most likely. All right, so once this train clears, we're going to get our freight train, and then we will bid farewell for the night. As you might be able to hear down there just faintly, the CPKC train is still crossing over down there. All right, so while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and go through the chat really quick, make sure we acknowledge some of the people watching. Mark, thanks again for that super chat. And Paul Warner made a comment about the station platform. It's a pity that the rest of the station wasn't kept nice and clean. Yeah, it is too bad that they decided, the last minute it seems like, to not include the middle platform in the restoration plans. And it's eventually going to get torn out. And I really thought that they would do that by now, but they haven't. And I don't think that Amtrak is even using that platform anymore. I think they're, with the crossovers put in, I think they're always using the renovated platform. That wasn't always the case while they were redoing the platform. They were still using both. But I'm pretty sure now they're just exclusively using the new platform. And of course, when that middle platform's gone, they'll be using this one all the time because there won't be a middle platform. So it is too bad, but I am glad that they restored one of the platforms. And as you can see, it is the original platform metalwork. They took it down and sandblasted it and repainted it, redid the roof, put them on these nice concrete columns so that when they're treating the platform during the wintertime, that the platforms don't get all corroded at the bottom. And a really nice concrete platform that's up on beams instead of just a slab like it is on the old platforms. It's a really nice new platform. I am glad that they did that. They did that much, that they restored one platform. I'd much rather have one platform restored than none. So even though I wish they restored the middle one too, I'm glad they at least did one. And it's very nice. What they've done is very, very nice. I'm very happy with it. So as we just heard on the radio, that oil train going through is 576. Oil train 576 is the one that is going through down there. I think they might have cleared. Doesn't sound like they're going through anymore. Yeah, Mark, getting back to plane and other transportation discussion, Mark was commenting about the Ottumwa Airport is, the Ottumwa Airport Tower is unmanned, and I'm pretty sure that you are correct. It used to be a manned tower because a couple decades ago, Ottumwa still had passenger air service. I don't know what airport it took you to, whether it was, I'm guessing probably Des Moines. But yeah, they actually had a regularly scheduled passenger plane that you could take from Ottumwa. And I think it was TWE, if I remember right. Kind of a subsidiary of TWA, which I'm pretty sure does not exist anymore. Mark just commented Ozark Airlines. I'm sure it was a bunch of different carriers over the years. But yeah, that went away pretty much, I don't know, probably around the year 2000, if not earlier. But I remember them talking about it when it went out, and it kind of made me upset because, you need a bunch of transportation options. The more you have, the better. Buses, trains, airports, you need all different modes of transportation to have a balanced system, and everybody is able to go the way they want to go. Everybody has reasons for riding different types of transportation. You need different options because not only is it easier on people who want to ride one option or another, it makes your city more attractive for visitors and businesses. Somebody trying to visit your city, well, it's really attractive if you can take a plane in or a train or a bus. And Ottumwa had all 3 of those until they lost their plane service, and they have never gotten it back. But yeah, back then, the tower was manned. And now, I mean, the airport's obviously still used, but just for, you know, I don't think they have any freight planes or any cargo planes, but it's used for, you know, farming and, you know, small, you know, private planes and stuff like that. Now, I'm pretty sure they just use the radio and radio themselves in to any planes that are in the area.
It's 6189 West. We're going to come down and have a look at Ottumwa. Over.
Okay, as you just saw, the signals down to the west lit up. This was approach, now it's green for clear. And the dispatcher just talked to him to say to come down and look at the signal, which means it's time to go. This train will be approaching soon. So we're gonna go ahead and pan back to our east to see it go through to complete our video for the night.
Yeah, I'll take one in a second, but I want to let you know that that 577 there still on the main fuel. As soon as he departs, you can go on main one on main track.
Yeah, the Ottumwa Airport is no longer manned. The control tower, and I'm not sure it's there anymore either. I don't remember if it's still there, if the actual tower's still there, if they took it down, but. And they renamed the airport. It used to be, pretty sure it used to be the Ottumwa Regional Airport, but then I think they renamed it to the Ottumwa Industrial Airport.
Alright, so KGS 4778, 4778 north in RTH, complete by the north in RTH, deciding to switch to Lakesburg on main track, track 1 number 1024 1024.
James Simmons Video Productions is here. Now he asks, are you going to make it to the Midwest Haunted Rails in Mount Pleasant? I think so. Last year I took a few video clips, but I didn't really, do anything with them. So I don't know if I'll actually take any video there this year or not, or if I'll just go to enjoy it. But yes, I do plan on going to Haunted Rails. I do not think I'm going to do a full-fledged, video of Haunted Rails. I'm not going to take my video camera with me like I did in 2019. One of these years I will, but I don't think I'm going to do that this year. But I am planning on going over there.
Robot pusher on 576. Good robot pusher on Vegas. Yep. You holler for 56 from there, dispatch. That's correct, over.
Yeah, A-Train was commenting about the holiday trains. He says, kind of hoping that instead of sending the U.S. holiday trains so far south, they could run the Kansas City Southern train north every other year or so. And that would be neat. Only thing is, I think it's a little more difficult to, operate because the front of the train, if you will, is just, that flat car made to look like a steam engine. So you'd have to, switch it around. And I do think in years past, the executive Kansas City Southern engines would pull the train, and then for the events, they would push it into place with the, special car in the front. I don't know how they actually ran it because I've never actually seen the train, but I think it's a little more complicated to run than the regular holiday train with a locomotive and cars. And A-Train did say that the CP business train went south last month. I read it was to come back through here on Sunday. That plan was a month ago. Huh. I might have to see if there's any info on that. I knew the train went south. I wasn't in a place to get it last time it came through, whenever that was, a couple weeks ago. I wasn't in a place to see it, but it always comes back north to go back to Canada, so we'll see if maybe I can get some pictures of it later, if I know when it's going to come through. Who knows? James Simmons Video Productions also asks, do you do train-related video games? PC games, obviously Microsoft Train Simulator I've probably played more than any other as far as train games go, but I've also dabbled in the new variant of Train Simulator made by Dovetail and Kuju before that, which was the original developer of the original Train Simulator. The game I've been playing right now quite a bit is American Truck Simulator, which is, you know, trucking. Totally, I mean, it's related to trains as far as distributing cargo, but really, it's a fun game. Driving on all the roads across America, that's the one I've been playing a lot lately. There are trains in the game too, but obviously trucks are the main thing on that game. All right, we're gonna wrap things up here soon. We'll get back to the chat for a couple minutes after this train. That westbound train that was waiting on the CPKC is now coming through, so we're gonna enjoy it and get ready to wrap things up after that. So here we go. Well, the oil train on the CPKC precedes the oil train here on the BNSF for tonight. The placards on these 1267. I think that's crude oil, maybe. I have to look it up. 1267 on the warning placards. We'll try not to think of all of the derailments that these crude oil trains have been in. Obviously, if this train were to derail and cause a fireball, yeah, we won't think about that. Trains are still very safe, though. Not too worried about it. And here's the end. Buffer car on the end. There's one on the front as well. There it is. Westbound loaded oil train. You haven't seen one of those in the streams before, so that's pretty neat. Haven't seen a coal train tonight. That's unusual for this line. We'll take it. That's them clearing up their warrant with the dispatcher. They just cleared it up east of the station.
47, display for release, over.
But yes, to continue with James Simmons' question about train-related games, those are the two that I've really played a lot of. There are some other train-related games, but those two are the big ones. Train Simulator, the Microsoft Train Simulator, and the new Train Simulator, which is like the continuation of what they used to call Rail Simulator. Oh, well, you can't forget Trains, Trainz. Played that one quite a bit too. Have Trains Railroad Simulator 2006 and 2019. But haven't put near as many hours in that game as I have on Microsoft Train Simulator. Played TRS 06 quite a bit. Like I said, my main game right now is American Truck Simulator. That is a really fun game to play. And my second favorite way to travel, obviously trains are my favorite way to travel, but second favorite is road trips. So, I mean, it's really a fun game to play. American Truck Simulator. So, look it up. And unfortunately, a lot of the new train games, my computer can support them, but they really make the fans whir, and the CPU usage is it's really hard on the computer to run some of those new train games because they're so detailed. Well, my wife just texted me, and she said that the fire trucks that we saw go by, apparently there was a fire at the North Harvey gas station. And then she also just texted and said there is an accident at Godfrey's 10 minutes later. So in the same area. Man. Series of unfortunate events. Hopefully everybody's okay. Well, I guess I'll talk to you guys more about those stories once I hear more about them by next week. Yeah. My wife just said that it was a fryer fire at the gas station. So, like, grease fire, maybe? Gosh. Well, it is getting late. It is 8:30, and we just saw our last train of the night. And we pretty much got caught up on the chat as well. So it's been a pretty good night, and this is going to be how the streams are going to be in the future, guys. Now that it's dark, we're going to have some nocturnal rail fanning for the foreseeable future as we go through the rest of fall and through winter and the early spring. So it's going to be fun. Not going to be this nice, though, for very long. It's going to get cooler, but it's going to be fun, too. And if Amtrak's running on time, we should be able to see some more trains as well, like the local and maybe some other coal trains and stuff, too. But we still got to see an interesting variety of trains. Along with Amtrak, see that oil train. I got to see that mixed freight before the stream. And we got to wait on that CPKC oil train down there as well. So it's been a night with some different variety. And, the signals have all gone out, and obviously been live streaming now for an hour and 20 minutes. So it's time to wrap things up. Next week, we'll shoot for Saturday again. I don't think I've got anything going on. Well, might actually be going to Haunted Rails next Saturday, so I may not be doing a stream next Saturday, but maybe I'll do one Friday or Sunday next week. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. And we will go from there. Obviously, I'm still working on my Old Threshers video. That's my next feature-length, full-length, regular upload. Long-form video that I'm working on right now. I'm actually working on some new maps for the Old Threshers video. I've been using the same maps for years, and I'm going to make some brand new ones to feature in the program. And then I'll go on to writing the script and narrating and actually editing the video. So I'm coming along on that project. Finished all the screenshot editing, which is what I usually do first. So it's coming along. That'll be my next video to be uploaded. May not get it done this month, but is definitely going to be done by the end of the year. So probably more likely November. But we'll see. I'll definitely let you guys know when I'm getting close to finishing that one, and we'll go from there. But obviously, I'm going to be doing some other live stream videos and maybe some other small videos here and there as well. So be on the lookout for all of those as well. In addition to my next stream, which will tentatively be next weekend. So with that, it is almost, let's see, it is 8:30. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for the night. Hopefully next time Amtrak is a little more punctual, but if not, it's still not incredibly late. But hopefully Amtrak will be more on time next week. At any rate, we will see you next week, or before then, any other uploads that I decide to put on before then. With that, we're going to wrap things up for the night. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. This is Bobby Harvey, live on the Ottumwa platform, saying so long until next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.